Good morning, friends. Okay, let's continue with our discussion on standard costing. In the previous session, we are done with material variances. I gave the intro for your labor variances. Before I revise labor variances, let me first discuss the homework questions. I just hope you guys have completed the homework. This is the first homework. Question number 5. Okay, this is a missing information question similar to question number 4. Here we have certain data points in the question. Material price variance is an area which I want to discuss little bit. 105 adverse. This is for both material A and B put together. Why it is for A and B put together? Because it does not specifically mention for material A or material B. But when you solve the question, if you see here, material B, actual price, standard price both are same, which means material price variance of material B will be 0. Material price variance of material B will be 0. Why is it 0? Because both the SP and AP is same. We don't know what is the AQ. The formula is SP into AQ minus AP into AQ. You don't have the AQ information, doesn't really matter because both are same 30. So what ICI did in their solution is they have taken this only for material A. An explanation may not be there, but this is taken only for material A. B is 0. B is 0. Or even if you apply the formula also, what will happen is the AQ is missing. You will get stuck there. AQ is missing. So you will get the AQ later on through the material cost variance. So if you see in the solution, material price variance MPVA, MPVB is not written because it is 0. It is 0 because both the standard price and the actual price is same. That's just a tricky adjustment or a slightly different adjustment in the question. Once you do that, when you use your material price variance, you will get the actual price of material A, and that question mark will get over. 2 question marks will be done. Then we will use the material cost variance, which is SP into SQ minus AP into AQ. This is not SQ, okay? Though the number will match, but this is not SQ. SQ is always calculated with the help of what? Actual output. Actual output is 80. Budgeted output is 80. If both are same, this will also become SQ directly. This will become SQ directly because there is a difference between budgeted quantity and standard quantity. Budgeted cost and standard cost. So in this question, because the output is same, so the solution will say SQ is equal to AO into input by output. 80 into input output ratio is loss of 20, input of 100. So input output ratio is 100 by 80. You will get 100 and split in the ratio of 60/40 and then do the balance calculation. Balance is fairly simple. Any doubts? If you have attempted, you could have got stuck, but that's okay. At least attempt that. In case some of you have asked me doubts, but this question nobody asked me doubts. I don't know why, but none of the message came on this question. Any doubts on this? Next is question number 6. Company manufactures OPC. The standard data for the material are used to manufacture. This is SP. This is, if you divide, you will get AP. If you divide, you will get AP. I don't want to divide. I'll directly write AP into AQ. I'll directly write AP into AQ. This is AQ. Total of this in this ratio, this is the standard mix. 65 is to 20 is to 5 is to 5 is to 5 is the standard mix. The composition is nothing but how are you going to mix the material together. So 65 is to 20 is to 5 is to 5 is to 5 is the standard mix. That is the standard mix which we are going to follow. Clear? Any doubts on this? Once that is done, you will get your RSQ. For SQ calculation, company has produced 500 metric ton. Question nowhere has mentioned that there is any loss in processing or the input output mix. So I'm assuming the input output is 1:1. The input output is assumed to be 1:1. So your SQ is equal to 500 into 1 by 1 split in that ratio. So 500 into 1 by 1 split in the ratio of 65, 25, 5 and 5, and RSQ was total split in this ratio. As I said, AP into AQ, I'll write it directly. I'll write that directly. I'll not try to split it. Doesn't really make any difference. Any doubts on this? Clear? Please proceed. Question 7 we did in class. Question 8 is similar to question 7, where you will have to apply the input output ratio specifically for every product. Material A and product M 2 is to 1, material B and product M 3 is to 1, material A and product N 1 is to 1, material B and product N 4 is to 1. You will have to apply specifically the ratio and then get to the SQ number. RSQ is not needed in case you want to calculate split in this ratio. 31 is to 69. 31 is to 69 is the ratio we'll have to apply in case you want to do RSQ computation. AQ is directly given in the question. AQ number is yeah, 32,500 and 67,000. That is a directly available number. AP is not given. I'm not calculating. I'll directly write the number. Any doubts on this? Okay, 9 is a question where some of you have asked me a doubt. Digesa Pharmaceutical Limited is engaged in producing dietary supplement. It produces in a batch of 10 kg. Standard input required is 10. So for 10 kg of output, 10 kg of input is needed. So 10 is to 10 is the input output ratio. 10 is to 10 is the input output ratio, which needs to be split. Just give me a minute. Okay, not 10 is to 10. It's not 10 is to 1. Standard input required for 10 kg. Standard input required for 10 kg of fun kits are as follow. You need 11. You need 11 kg of input for 10 kg of output. 11 kg of input for 10 kg of output. The actual output is 5,000. So 5,000 into 11 by 10 split in the ratio of 5 is to 3 is to 3, or directly you can do 5,000 into 5 by 10, 3 by 10 and 3 by 10. That will give you the standard quantity. RSQ is the total of AQ, and for AQ they have said during the month of March 2014 actual production is 5,000 kg, for which the actual quantity used for a single batch, this is the usage. So 5,000 divided by 10 is 500 batches. So this is 6 into 500. This is 2.5 into 500 and 2 into 500. This is the actual quantity. This is the actual quantity used. 6 into 500, 2.5 into 500 and 2 into 500, and split that in the ratio of 5 is to 3 is to 3. So this is the actual quantity 6, because one student had asked me this, why we are doing divided by 10, because 6 plus 2.5 plus 2 adds up to 10.5. It should ideally be not 6 by 10, it should ideally be 5,000 by 10 into 6. The division by 10 is for 5,000 rather than for 6. It is not 6 by 10, 2.5 by 10 and 2 by 10, because 6 plus 2.5 plus 2 is 10.5. So ideal presentation is 5,000 by 10 into 6, 5,000 by 10 into 2.5, 5,000 by 10 into 2. That will give you the AQ. Put a total, split in the ratio of 3 is to or 5 is to 3 is to 3. That will give you the RSQ, and SQ calculation is 5,000 into 11 by 10. Any doubts on this? Yep. 10 again, nothing much is there. Here what they have mentioned is, this is the standard mix. Standard price is directly given, actual price is directly given, and they have given an actual mix. What is the use of actual mixes? They have said in April 2012, 60 batches were prepared. One batch uses 125 kg of raw material, and in one batch you should produce 100 kg of output. One batch you should use 125 kg of raw material, and in one batch you should produce 100 kg of output. We use 60 batch of raw material to produce only 5,600 kg, which means you have wasted material, which means you have indirectly wasted. So your actual material is 60 batches into 125. 60 batches into 125, split in the ratio of 60, 20, 20. That is the actual quantity. Split in the ratio of 50, 30, 20. That is the RSQ. RSQ is the total of AQ in standard mix. How will you calculate SQ? For SQ calculation, 5,600 into 125 by 100 and split in the ratio of 50, 30, 20. Any doubts on this? Yep. 11 we did in class. I'll quickly revise labor variances and then we start doing problem. In labor variances, I have taken you through 4 situations. There are totally 4 situations in labor variance. We had single labor, without idle time, single labor with idle time, multiple labor without idle time, multiple labor with idle time. What we need to do for problem solving is very simple. For each of the situation, you will have to first put a chart. In the chart, what we do is we first capture the y-axis, which is SP and sorry SR and AR. The x-axis for situation 1 is SH and AH. Second situation, AH will become AHW, AHP. Third situation, between SH and AH, you will have RSH. Fourth situation, between you will have RSH, AH will be AHW and AHP. Clear? Any doubts on this? Let's quickly get into questions now. Come to question 12. Go through question 12. Okay, let's see this question now. The standard output of product E exceeds 25 units per hour in a manufacturing department of a company employing 100 workers. Standard wage rate is 6. In a 42-hour week, the department produced 1040 units. Hourly wage rate applied are 6.2, 6 and 5.7. Compute relevant variances, rework. So there are two different situations. Compute relevant variances, part 1 of the question. Rework is part 2 of the question. So we have two types of question. First, there is a single labor, there is multiple labor. Now what is single labor and multiple labor is not having 100 workers. Single labor and multiple labor is basically like this. You will see problem where they will mention skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled. Or you will see problem where they'll mention grade A, grade B, grade C. Are men, women, boys. So different category of workers. If you have different category of workers, that is technically called as multiple labor. In this question, I don't see that categorization in the problem. So this is a problem on single labor. Original part is without idle time. Rework part is with idle time. There's a rework which is given in the question. The rework is with idle time. The original part of the question is without idle time. Let's first put the chart. SR, AR, SH, AH, single labor without idle time. It is single labor without idle time. SR, AR, SH, AH, SR into SH, SR into AH, AR into AH. What is the top part called? Rate. Bottom part, efficiency. The chart is something, at some stage I'll start avoiding putting the chart, because chart doesn't really serve any purpose for me. It may serve some purpose for you if you're not confident on the formula, but as things proceed, at some stage we'll stop putting the chart. What's the standard rate given in the question? How much you want to pay per hour? 62 places. 6 rupees I want to pay per hour. What's the actual rate? 6.26 and 5.7. So listen, normally I'll have a single actual rate. They've given three different rates. I'll have to take a weighted average. Simple average will not work. You'll have to take a weighted average. Note 1, leave 2 lines gap. Note 1, computation of AR. AR equal to, how many people we are paying 6.2? Okay, 6.2 into 10. This is weighted average format. 6 to how many people? 30. And 5.7 to 60. Whole divided by, what should I divide this by? 10 plus 30 plus 60. This is weighted average. 6.2 into 10 plus 6 into 30 plus 5.7 into 60. Whole divided by 10 plus 30 plus 60. 5 point. Ideally, it should be a single rate. We cannot have concept of multiple rates and all. But a question has given different rates, so we have taken a weighted average. This can even happen in material variances also. They can say you purchase some at this price, something else at other price. You'll have to take a weighted average. So AR is 5.84. AR is 5.84. Actual rate is 5.84. Okay. Now comes the most important discussion, an area where students keep making mistake. Be it actual hours or standard hours, the concept is man hours. What is man hours is, some question will say a company is working for 42 hours, but they are employing 10 people. Another company working for 42 hours but employing 100 people. Another company working for 42 hours but employing 1000 people. The 10 people employing company will have lower production. 100 people obviously will have higher production. 1000 will have the highest production. So it is not the number of hours we are working, it is the number of hours into the number of people. It is always the number of hours into number of people. In this question, a factory consists of 42-hour week. So my employee cost is not 42 into 5.84. My employee cost is 42 into 5.84 into how many people? 100 people. So basically, like we did when you went to this area on your operating costing, we use a concept called composite costing where we multiply two things. So in labor, it should always be number of people into number of hours. So H is, I want to know what is actual hours. Actual hours is not 42. Actual hours is 42 into number of workers. 42 into number of workers. Next, note to H. Computation of AH. Actual hours equal to number of hours. See, in this problem, when you do, you can use the word number of hours worked or paid, both are same. When you do idle time, there will be a difference. So number of hours worked slash paid into number of workers. 42 into 100. 4200. 42 into 100, 4200. Two places 4200. Objective is always to get the table correctly. Once that is done, problem is almost over. Note 3, most important calculation, computation of SH. Standard equation. Somewhere the question would have mentioned in how many hours we have to produce how many units. What does the question say? Somewhere it will be there. 25 units per hour. So listen, wait. 1 hour is equal to 25 units. ST equal to AO. If you remember, this is what we did in labor chapter. Wait, it says produces 25 units per hour in a manufacturing department by employing 100 workers. So it's not 25 units per hour. It is 25 units per 100 man hours. 25 units per 100 man hours, because you can never say the equation like this, because some other company will say we produce 50 units per hour because they are doubling the number of people. Another company will say I am producing 100 units per hour, 1000 units per hour. PepsiCo, the big Reliance Industries will produce more units per hour. A smaller company will produce lesser units per hour. That does not mean Reliance is more efficient and this company is not efficient. We cannot go by that. So, in order to ensure that we are doing the right calculation, we should always use the concept of man hours. Very rare scenario, this 25 units per hour can be interpreted as 1 hour equal to 20. That's a rare scenario. When is this a rare scenario? When you apply the equation. For example, in this question, if we apply 1 hour equal to 25 units, ST equal to AO, what is the actual output? 1040. Can you tell me the answer? 1 hour equal to 25, question mark equal to 1040. 41.6 hours equal to 1040 units. 41.6 can't be standard time, because when the actual time is 4200, your standard time cannot be 41.6. Very rare scenario, question could not have been worded properly. When you apply this, you get answer like 4000 or something, then please write that directly. No need to do the man hours conversion. That's a very rare scenario. It may come in one question or other. Now write standard equation here. 100 man hours equal to 25 units. 100 man hours equal to 25 units. ST equal to AO, question mark equal to 1040 units. Question mark equal to 1040 units. How many man hours you get? Question mark equal to 1040. 100 equal to 25. Yeah, guys, participate. Sorry? No. 100 equal to 25, question mark equal to 1040. 100 equal to 4160. 4160 hours is equal to 1040 units. 4160 hours is equal to 1040 units. Any doubts on this? Can you proceed? Anybody has any doubts on this? Clear? Can we? Everyone done? Can I proceed? Okay, let's write. Tell me the column one number. 6 into 4160 is how much? 24960. Second one, 25200. Third one, 24528. I'm technically done with the question, so I'll take you through the variance calculation. But we are kind of done with the problem because we have got the information needed. Any doubts on this? Can we proceed? Now, right, labor cost variance equal to the chart will give you the formula. Labor cost variance equal to, what's the formula? SR into SH minus AR into AH. SR into SH minus AR into AH. 24,960 minus 24,528. 24,960 minus 24,528. 432 favorable. Labor rate variance equal to SR into AH, AR into AH. Labor rate variance equal to SR into AH minus AR into AH. I'm not getting into the formula discussion and all again. 25,200 minus 24,528. 672 favorable. Labor efficiency variance equal to, see this name of the variance, please write the full form. SR into AH short form is okay. Labor efficiency, write it fully. Labor efficiency variance equal to SR into SH minus SR into AH. 24,960 minus 25,200, you get 240 adverse. Any doubts on this? Clear? Clear? Can you proceed? Okay. Next, rework scenario. Same question, there's a rework scenario which is given. What does the rework scenario say? 5% of the time paid was lost due to abnormal. See, if it's normal reason, then that is not idle time. Normal reason is not idle time. It's not idle time for our analysis purpose. It's only the abnormal issue. If there's any abnormal loss, then that is treated as idle time. Let's put the chart first. SR, AR, SH, AHW, and AHP. Please put the chart. No need to copy the chart and all. You should be clear with the chart by now. But in case you don't, then you can check it. Otherwise, please do it on your own. Let's put this now. SR into SH, SR into AHW, SR into AHP, AR into AHP, SR into SH, SR into AHW, SR into AHP, and AR into AHP. Standard rate, everything I'm going to copy paste from the earlier one. 6 into 4160. AHW, AHP alone, I'll do some discussion. 6 into 5 point, what was the rate? 884. AHW, AHP, I'll do some discussion. SH and all I've copy pasted. Just a rework scenario. Otherwise, you'll have to do SH calculation. 6 into 4160. 6 into what is AHW, AHP? I'll do a discussion. Clear? Now write. Note 1. AHP equal to hours paid per worker into number of workers. Hours paid per worker into number of workers. 42 into 100. Where the change is going to be, you'll understand. First, let's write this. 42 into 100. Actual hours paid per worker into number of workers. 42 into 100. 4200. Actual hours worked is 42 minus 5% into 100. 42 minus 5%. 5% of the hour, you can do even 4200 minus 5%. You can subtract 5% even at 4200. Every worker in the 42 hours, 5% is waste. 5% is wasted. How much is the AHW? Clear? 42 into 100. 42 minus 5% into 100. 42 into 100. 42 minus 5 percentage into 100. 6 into 4160, 6 into 3990, 6 into 4200, 5.84 into 4200. Or the last one, 5.84 into 4200 is. It's a rework scenario, so a lot of numbers are copy pasted from that, but otherwise this is the calculation. Labor cost variance equal to SR into SH minus what? Guys, participate please. AR into AHP. Rate variance. You may not see changes in rate variance or cost variance answer. Efficiency will change now. Wait for a minute. Clear? Can you proceed? Let's come to question 13. Browell Furnitures makes curio cabinets for various museums and art galleries. It makes 7 cabinets per hour by employing 5 skilled, 10 semi-skilled and 20 unskilled. The standard wage rate is 24 per labor hour. During the last week, workers worked for 56 hours and made 400 cabinets. 2% of the time was lost due to the abnormal reason. Actual rate paid to skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled is 30, 24 and 18. You are required to calculate labor cost, rate, efficiency and idle time variance. Nothing much for you to see in the question. Tell me which situation is this: single labor, multiple labor, with idle time, without idle time. With idle time, let's put the chart. SR, AR, SH, RSH, AHW, AHP. Okay, let's start. What are the three category of workers? Skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled. What's the standard rate? 24 for all the three. Okay, fill it at four places. Objective is to get the table correctly. 24. What's the actual rate? 30, 30, 24, and 18. Any doubts till this? Below this, note 1, computation of AHP. AHP equal to hours paid per worker into number of workers. Man hours concept. Hours paid per worker into number of workers. Man hours concept. AHP equal to hours paid per worker into number of workers. Skilled 56 is I think the hours paid. What is the question? They said during the last week workers worked for 56 hours and made 400 curio cabinets. 2% of the time paid was lost due to abnormal reason. Now listen, workers worked for 56 hours is interpreted as workers getting paid for 56 hours. You paid them for 56 hours. In that only the 2% loss is there. In that only 2% loss is there. That is what we normally interpret. In a very rare scenario, because if you do 56, can you tell me 56 by 98% is how much? Okay, if you take 56 to be hours worked, then hours paid will be 57.14, which is a very random number. I can't have a random number like this. So ideally, if they say during the last week workers worked for 56 hours, it means the workers were in the factory for 56 hours. In that, 2% of the time paid was lost due to abnormal reason. So hours paid per worker is 56. How many skilled employees are there? The plan was 5, actual may or may not be 5. The plan was 5, actual it makes curio cabinets by employing 5 skilled, 10 semi skilled, and 20 unskilled. Nothing is given about actual composition. There can be problems where they can give you something like this. The plan is 65, 20, and 15. The actual is 50, 30, and 20. You can have a difference in the planned composition and the actual composition. That is also possible in a question. In this question, such a change is not there. So now write into 5. 56 into 5 is 280. Semi-skilled 56 into how many workers are there? Semi-skilled employee. In unskilled 280, 560, and 1120. 280, 560, and 1120. Clear? Note 2. Computation of AHW. Hours worked per worker into number of workers. Hours worked per worker into number of workers. Worked per worker into number of workers. How much is the idle time they mentioned? 56 minus 2% is how much? 54 point. It is possible that you work for 54.88, but payment for 54.88 random number like that is difficult. That is why we assume 56 to be the hours paid. In that we are subtracting 2% into 5 into 10. 54.88 into 5. How much? 274.4. Next one. Next one. Clear? Let's put them here. 274.4. 'Clear? Next, note 3. Computation of RSH. Computation of RSH. Listen, RSH is the total of what? AHW in standard mix. In this question, this step is of no use. So I'll do it because the planned mix is 5, 10 and 20. The actual mix is also 5, 10 and 20. So there will not be any difference between RSH and AHW because the plan is 5, 10 and 20. Actual is also 5, 10 and 20. Now write total of AHW. Tell me the total of 3. Total of AHW. 19. Split this skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled in the planned ratio 5, 10, 20. You will end up getting the same number. So this step is of no use in this question. You added the three numbers 274, 548 and 1097 and now going to split it. When you split you will get the same number 274, 548 and 1097. In this question it doesn't serve any purpose, but a lot of other question it will have utility. In short, in this question there is no mix variance, and if you see the problem, they have not asked for mix variance. Question has not even asked for the mix variance. That's the reason, because there is no mix variance here. I can even say not required also. This is not required for me to do, because we did this when we did some problem in material variance. RSQ we were not writing in few question because it was not needed. Any doubts till this? 274.4, 548.8, 1097.6. Clear? Can you proceed? Any doubts on this? Next, note 3 or note 4, computation of SH. Computation of SH. Standard equation. Standard equation. What does the equation say? How many units? How many are? Guys, participate please. Right, wrong and all doesn't really matter. Unless you are participating, I cannot proceed. What is the standard equation? Sorry, not able to hear anything. Why are you looking at 56 400? That is actual. I'm asking about the standard equation. What is the use of looking at 56 and 400? That is the actual performance. 7 curio cabinets per hour. No, that's not the equation. It's not 1 hour equal to 7 units. It says it makes 7 curio cabinets per hour by employing 5 skilled, 10 semi-skilled and 20 unskilled. So 35 people into 1 hour is equal to 7 units. 35 people into 1 hour. Last question said 25 units per hour. This question says 7 units per hour, but it's not 7 units per hour. It is 7 units per 35 hours. 7 units per 35 hours, because per hour by employing 5 skilled, 10 semi-skilled and 20 unskilled worker. 5 skilled, 10 semi-skilled and 20 unskilled worker. So now write standard equation. 35 hours equal to 7 units. 35 hours is equal to 7 units. Last question it was 25 units per hour, but we wrote it as 100 hours is equal to 25 units. We wrote it as 100 hours is equal to 25 units. 35 hours equal to 7 units. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on this? 35 man hours, yes. I'll write, so I'll not write man hours again and again. It's implied. Hours means only man hours here. 35 man hours is equal to 7 units. ST equal to AO. Question mark equal to what's the actual output? If 35 is equal to 7, what is equal to 400? 2000 hours equal to 400 units. Split 2000 into 3. Skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled. 5, 10, 20. Split in this ratio. Two thousand in this ratio. What's the split? How much for skilled? 280. Okay. Okay. Technically, even if you round off and do, it won't make a big difference. But okay, I'll keep it as 2 decimal. 285.71, 571.4 431142.86. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on any of these numbers? 285.71. What is the second number? 5. Third one, I'll give you maybe 5 minutes. Get the totals and calculate the variances. Variances will come from the formulae. 5 minutes for you to do this. Complete the variance calculation as well. Some of you have stopped at just doing the table. Table is of no use. The final answer is on the variance. So in exam you will be awarded marks only after calculating the variances. Put the first column total 40, second 46, okay, third one, fourth one 47, last one 42. Labor cost variances 6000 favorable, rate variances 5040 favorable, uh, idle time variances was a gap between these two. How much is the difference? 9 adverse, mix is 0, yield is 48,000 minus 46,099, which is 1009 not favorable. Any doubts on this? I'm not explaining the variance computation in detail. Any doubts on this? Cost variance is 6000 favorable, rate variance is 5040 favorable, idle time variance is 940.8 adverse, mix is 0, yield variance is 1900.8. In this question as such, your idle time variance was asked, labor efficiency was asked. Okay, labor efficiency we have not written, which is efficiency will also be 1900.8 only. Efficiency is 1900.8 favorable. Any doubts on this? Your variances will look like this. The breakup of this is not asked in the problem. So I have done it, but the breakup of this was not asked in the question. Any doubts on this? Can you proceed? Any doubts? Done? 14 is homework. Okay, you can attempt 14 at home. Go through the question and tell me what's the standard equation. That is where students struggle a lot. What is the standard equation according to you in this question? Balance part you do at home. How many units is equal to how many hours? Sorry, 100 and sorry 100 what you said? First of all, in standard equation, actual output does not help. I don't know why. Last question also, some of you made a reference to 400 cabinets. That is of no use when I ask you the standard equation. For standard equation, actual output is of no use. So first, don't look at that 1800. Please ignore that 1800. When I write standard equation, I don't want you to look at AO, because using AO only you will get the standard time. So in standard equation 1800 cannot come. That's the first point. So you tell me then. Sorry, 100 equal to why 100? It said the standard labor employment and actual labor engaged in a 40-hour week, 100 people, correct? Did they say this 2000 units per hour? Is the question using the word 2000 units per hour? Last question said 7 units per hour. Before that it said 25 units per hour. It just said 2000 units. This 2000 units is not per hour. This 2000 units is per 40 hours. And 40 hours into 100 people is 4000 hours. 40 hours into 100 people is 4000 hours. 40 hours into 100 people. So the standard equation is 2000 units is equal to 4000 hours. 2000 units is equal to 4000 hours. Be very clear in the standard equation. Many a times you make mistake in this only. Standard equation. I don't want you to look at actual output. I don't know why your mind focuses on that. That's of no use. That's of no use. You will use that. See here. We would have written the standard equation. 4000 hours equal to 2000 units, and then used the AO to calculate ST. Used the AO to calculate the standard time. So nowhere in the standard equation you should tell the actual output. Clear? Any doubts in this? First question said 25 units per hour. We said per hour is 1 hour into 100 people. Second question said 25, sorry, first question said 100 units per hour. This said 25 units per hour, 5 units per hour. And this question which we have solved is said output is 2000 units, but it did not say per hour. It said 2000 units for 40 hours. For 40 hours. So 40 hours into 100 people. Any doubts? 15 is homework. Again, tell me the standard equation. Tell me the standard equation. How many units equal to how many hours? 2000 units is equal to, where is that 2000 coming from? Again, this is reality.
2006.
This is of no use. Sorry,
Sir,
in live online someone said 2000 units equal to,
2600 units is equal to 2000 units.
no, you are right, but it's not okay. Okay, it's 2000 units equal to 2600 hours. 2000 units is equal to, again, standard equation is what are you planning to do. Don't let get to what is happening in reality, because what is happening in reality, moment you see, you are confusing yourself unnecessarily. It's 2000 units equal to 2600 hours. Whether it has happened that way, happened more, happened less is not my worry. That is something we'll see later. 2000 units is equal to 2600 hours. In reality they have used only 50 people. That's their wish, I can't help it. 50 into 40 is age. 50 into 40 is age. I'm not discussing the full question because I want you to do that at home, but be very clear on the standard equation. 2600 hours is equal to 2000 units. 16 is homework again. I'm not discussing the equation also here. Go through 17. Okay. Following information has been provided by a company: number of units produced and sold, standard labor rate per hour, standard hours required for 6000 units. Blank, basically you'll have to identify that. Actual hours required, there's nothing like actual hours required, that's the actual hours. The required word should not be there. Labor efficiency, labor rate, variance. Single labor, multiple labor. Single labor, with idle time, without idle time. It can be with or without, because the question till this I don't see any idle time data. In the requirements Also there is no idle time. In the requirements also there is no idle time. So let's directly do SR into SH, SR into AH, AR into AH. First let's close the computation table and then we get into specific calculation. SR into SH, SR into AH, AR into AH. Whatever information is available, let's write that first. Balance we'll see. How much is the standard rate? 8 at 2 places. Actual rate, if not given, we'll see it later. Is the actual rate available? That is in fact the first requirement of the question. Actual labor rate per hour. Actual hours, fill at 2 places. 17094. So I've already used this information, this information. I have been given two data, labor efficiency percentage and labor rate variance. Those are the two information which have been given in the question. Now labor efficiency percentage, there was this formula which you would have learnt in labor chapter. Can you tell me what is the formula for efficiency? We have done this in labor chapter. What's the formula? Sorry? Guys, right, wrong and all doesn't really matter. Tell me something. Efficiency, you have learnt a formula in labor chapter. What is that formula?
Standard time by actual time.
Yeah. SH by AH. SH by AH. This is the formula for your efficiency. Efficiency is equal to SH by AH. 105.3% equal to SH by 17,094. Get me the answer to SH. 105.3% equal to SH by 17,094. How much is standard time? Eighteen.
18,000.
SH equal to 18,000. Any doubts on this? Clear? Eight into 18,000. We are almost done with the table. 8 into 17,094, and AR is still missing. That AR part is still missing. Which variance will help us in calculating AR? Which variance is given in the question? Labor rate variance. What is the formula for labor rate variance? SR into AH minus AR into AH. The AR will become balancing figure. The AR will become balancing figure. Labor efficiency variance equal to SR into SH, sorry, SR into AH, sorry, SR into AH minus AR into AH. SR into AH minus AR into AH minus 68 P76 is equal to 8 into 17,094 minus AR into 17,094. Quickly solve and tell me the AR. 8 into 17,094 minus AR into 17,094. No, should be 12, I think, exactly. Are you not getting exact 12?
12, sir.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Someone live online confirm me we are getting 12. Can you just check?
Yes, sir, it is 12.
Check. Yeah, you're getting 12 exactly. Getting 12, no? Can you proceed? 8 into 17,094 is 136,752. You move 68,376 to the other side, you will get 205,128. Divide by 17,094 is 12. Any doubts on this? Yep. First column 8 into 18,000, how much? Second one 1,36,000. Last one next solution. Let's come to the requirements of the question. These are reverse working kind of a question. Let's come to the requirements of the question. Solution. Point number A, actual rate per hour is equal to rupees 12. Actual rate per hour is equal to rupees 12. Rupees 12 per hour. Standard hours, second requirement, equal to 18,000 hours. Standard hours equal to 18,000. Labor efficiency variance equal to standard hours equal to 18,000 hours. Equal to 18,000 hours. Labor efficiency variance equal to SR into SH. I'm not getting into the formula discussion. Anybody at any stage has a doubt on the formula, let me know. SR into SH minus SR into AH. The formula comes from the chart. 1,44,000 minus 136,752. How much is the answer? 7,000. Favorable. 7,248 favorable. Any doubts on this? Part 4, standard labor cost per unit equal to standard labor cost by 6,000 units. standard labor cost per unit is equal to standard labor cost by 6,000 units. Standard labor cost is the first column. Standard labor cost is the first column. Actual labor cost is the last column. Standard labor cost per unit is standard labor cost by 6,000 units. Listen. Your standard labor cost is also for 8,000 only. Actual is also for 8,000. Some question will say budgeted is 8,000 units. You cannot divide standard cost by 8,000. That is also divided by actual output, and actual cost is also divided by actual output, because your standard cost is computed for the actual output. Standard labor cost was 1,44,000 divided by 6,000, how much? 24. Actual labor cost per unit. Actual labor cost by 6,000 units. How much is the actual labor cost? Divided by 6,000. How much? So there's a huge adverse variance. From 24, it is going up to some 34.18. The cost is increasing significantly. Clear? Any doubts on this? Can you proceed? Just give me a minute. 18 is homework. Tell me the standard equation for 18. Standard equation. How many units equal to how many hours? Why are you looking at actual output? I've been telling 20 times, I've told not to look at actual output when I'm asking standard equation. I have told this, now I'm telling you for the maybe the 20th time. Why are we looking at actual output? Please guys understand, again and again I'm repeating the same thing. Don't look at actual output when I'm asking you the standard equation. Tell me what's the standard equation? Sorry? I'm hearing multiple, so can you again repeat? 20 units equal to 120 hours. 20 units is equal to 120 hours, because it's a 20 units per hour. Standard output of product is 20 units per hour. In 1 hour 120 people will work. So 20 units equal to 120 hours. 20 units is equal to 120 hours. Again repeating, please don't look at the actual output when I'm asking you the standard equation. You will write 20 units equal to 120 hours, then you will write question mark equal to, then only you will do that calculation. Any doubts on this? Nineteen is also homework, but again I want the standard equation. In fact, technically we can remove this question also. It's exactly similar as one earlier question, but ठीक है. Tell me the standard equation.
800 hours equal to 1000 units.
Okay, I've got the answer from live online. That is right. I want the 800 hours is equal to 1000 units because 40 hours and we have how many people? 20 people. So 800 hours is equal to 1000 units. This 960 will come later for calculation purpose. The 960 is something which you should not look at initially itself. Clear? Any doubts on this? If there is a doubt, clarity is still missing on SQ, because the only place where student make mistake is SH. They don't write the SH correctly, the entire solution goes wrong. If there's still a doubt, let me know, I'll explain. Go through 21. 20 is also homework. Go through 21. Okay, let's start. In a manufacturing unit, a gang of employees usually consists of 20 and 15. So the standard composition is 20 is to 15, paid at standard rate of 65 and 55. 65 and 55 is technically SR. In a normal working week of 50 hours, gang is expected to produce 5000 units of output. Expected to produce will give you the standard equation. This information will give you the standard equation. Till this, can you tell me what is the standard equation? Don't see anything beyond this. 1750 hours is equal to 5000 units. In the actual gang they have more people. I'm not bothered about that. Let them have more people, let them have less number of people. That's not my worry. 1750 hours is equal to 5000 units. Question mark is equal to 5500. That will give me the standard time. That AO I will look at later only. Let's put this single labor, multiple labor, with idle time, without idle time, without idle time. In class I'll do all the calculation, but question has not asked for mix and yield. Question has not asked for mix and yield variance. So technically you will not need that RSH, but still in class let me close it. But in this question that RSH calculation will not be needed because the question has not asked for mix and yield variance. Let's put the chart first. Star, AR, SH, RSH, AHW, AHP. We start. All right. SR into SH, SR into RSH, SR into HW, SR into HP, AR into AHP. What are the two category of workers? Skilled and unskilled. Standard rate 65 and 55 at 4 places. 65 and 55 at 4 places was the actual rate. Sorry, 70 and 50. 70 and 50. Actual hours paid, I'm not doing a separate working note. I'll directly write it now onwards in this. You do a separate working note, that's okay. How many hours are we paying a single employee? How many hours are we paying one employee? 50 hours. A normal working week is of 50 hours. But he is working only for 45 hours. He is working only for 45 hours because 5 hours were lost due to abnormal idle time. How many actual skilled employees are there? Sorry? 20. Actual is, so how many actual skilled employees are there? 25. How many actual unskilled employees are there? 20. Normally there will not be any variation between these two, but question has given a variation. Let's follow whatever the problem tells. The actual gang consisted of only 25 people and 20 people, so this is 50 into 25 and this is 50 into 20. 50 into 25, 50 into 20. You want to do a separate working note, that's up to you, but I don't see a need. We can directly close it here. 50 into 25 and 50 into 20. And 20 is the actual composition. Planned is something different that leads to mixed variance, which is not asked in the question, but we'll do. Actual hours worked, listen, is 45 into 25 and 45 into 20. The gap of 5 hours is the idle time. The gap of 5 hours is the idle time. 45 into 25 and 45 into 20. You want to do a separate working note for this? Yes, you can do it. I don't see a need in this question at least. Can you proceed? Any doubts? Done. Note 1, computation of RSH. RSH and SH, most of the question will need a working note. Computation of RSH. Total of HW equal to, total of HW equal to 1125 plus 900. Total of HW equal to 1125 plus 900. 1125 plus 900. How much? 2000 split into RSH of skilled, RSH of unskilled. The actual is 2520, but that was not the plan. What is plan is what I need to do now. RSH is the total of HW in the planned mix. Planned mix, budgeted mix, standard mix, all are same. What is the planned mix? What was the planned mix? Guys, sorry?
20 is to 15, sir.
20 is to 15. I don't know why you guys are not participating. 20 is to 15. First line, a gang usually consists of 20 and 15. Split now. If you get in decimal, give me a 2 decimal answer. 20 is to 15. Two zero two five 1157.14. Clear? I write it here. 1157.14. 867.86. 1157.14. 867.86. Note to computation of SH. Computation of SH. Standard equation. Standard equation. How many units is equal to how many hours? We have already discussed this. Sorry? 1000 hours is equal to 5000 units. This was 35 into 50. 1750 hours is equal to 5000 units. Question mark equal to 5500 units. Question mark equal to 5500 units. What's the answer to question mark? 19 hours equal to 5500 units. This 1925 split skilled, unskilled, 20, 15. The plan was to work in 20 and 15. 1925 split as 20 and 15. Split as 20 and 15. 1100, 8, 1100 and 825. 20 and 15 split. 1100 and 825. Any doubts on this? Clear? Can you proceed? So I get back here 1100, 825. We'll have to calculate all of this. 65 into 1100, 55 into 825. 1,16,000 875, 65 into 1157.14, 55 into 867.86, 1 lakh, 22,946.40, 65 into 1125, 55 into 900, 1 lakh 22 625, 136 250, 137, clear. We'll then start calculating variances. Labor cost variance equal to SR into SH minus AR into AHP. If there are any doubts on the formula, please refer the chart. SR into SH minus AR into AHP, 116,875 minus 137,500. 20,625 adverse. This will be technically split into three: labor rate, labor efficiency, labor idle time. Labor cost is 2625 adverse. Labor rate is SR into AHP, AR into AHP, 136 250, 137 500, 1250 adverse. Rate variances 1250 adverse. Labor idle time variances SR into AHW minus SR into AHP, 122,625 minus 136 250, 13,625 adverse. So cost is adverse, rate is adverse, idle time will always be adverse. Efficiency is SR into SH minus SR into AHW. Five seven five zero adverse. Efficiency is 5750 adverse. Rate is 1250 adverse. Idle time is 13625 adverse. Cost is 2625 adverse. I've not calculated the mix and yield. You can calculate if you want. That's not needed in the question. Even the calculation of RSH is not needed. In this question, the RSH computation was not needed, but still we have done it. RSH is not presented in the solution because it was not required. As such, the RSH computation is not required in this question. Okay, we'll take a break. What time I resume, I'll update in the group because it can get slightly a longer break. Not sure, depends on, because there's some puja, so depends on that. I'll let you know what time we are resuming again. We'll take a break now.